Gordon, I think so. I do believe so. What's going on, everybody? I'm back again with another animated story, and this one is from the page Batman versus Everybody. And the story is apparently it's called. Let me read this one. True Scary Stories Animated My Dad's Basement. Let's find out how crazy this one is. Y'all ready? Let's do this. Uh-oh, having a little technical difficulties here. All right, one more time. Let's do this.
I grew up in what people would consider a bad household. My mom and dad were in a bad relationship, and they did nothing but argue every day. My mom would complain that my dad would stick in the basement almost every day and never spend any time with me. And my dad would always have the same response, that he's doing research down there. The only problem was that we were prohibited from going down to the basement. 3 locks were built into the basement door, and he kept his
All right, right off the bat here. Yeah, troubled homes, they're out there. Troubled homes are out there. But if you're at home and your dad or mom or uncle or cousin has 3 locks on the basement, I understand you don't want nobody to know what's going on down there. You're trying to secure, but what I say before, red flag. Mom needs to check this stuff. Son needs to question pops. Anyway, let's keep it going.
one key on his old keyring. The key had a torn blue sticker at the bottom of it with a brown rusty tip. However, my mom finally got a hold of it somehow. And that same day when I came home from school, Dad suddenly told me she left us for another man. He seemed truly broken and sunk in his misery. So I tried pretending to be normal at first.
Yeah, of course he's gonna be sad. He done something to his wife that he wasn't supposed to do. Yeah, she wasn't supposed to have this key. She got curious, and now look what happens. Wives, husbands, check each other. When you start doing crazy stuff and weird stuff, check each other. Check each other on this. Let's keep it going.
But I couldn't stop crying like a baby when they finally got back in my room. After a few months of emotional breakdowns, my dad finally got over it. Furthermore, he started to visit the basement more consistently to the point where I would feel like I lived alone. I kept thinking my dad was working very hard, since I saw him being very distraught after coming upstairs from the basement. I thought everything was fine until I started hearing noises at night. They weren't just regular noises. It was kind of someone's crying and scream of agony. But the most disturbing sound of all was the sound of growling, like some kind of beast would exist down in the basement.
Yeah, it's true or not. You start hearing dumb stuff, crazy stuff like that. This is time to get the heck out of there. And you living alone with your pops, and he's always in the basement. That says something's going on in the basement. Slightly cringeworthy. Anyway.
The next morning, I complained to my dad, but he acted like he had no idea what I was talking about as he walked past me to get ready for work. So I just shook it off, assuming that he was watching some horror movie down there, or if I was just imagining the whole thing. I went back to my room. As it was the weekend, I was ready to catch up on some Saturday morning cartoons. I turned on my TV, and as I got ready to change the channel, I heard a familiar name. The news reporter was naming over 40 missing people in our town. And my mom was one of those names as they briefly showed her picture and information. I was confused about who would file a missing person report for her, because my grandparents both died in a tragic car accident years ago. She had no siblings, and my dad told me she left us for another man. I wanted to inform my dad, but soon I was concerned it would make him depressed again. and in a way, I was still angry at her for leaving us. So I ignored it and changed the channel. A few minutes later, my dad came in to tell me he was leaving for work. He gave me a kiss on my forehead and informed me that he'd be back later that night. After he left, I invited my best friend Austin to come over. He then arrived shortly after, and we played a game on my PlayStation. As we were about to plunge into the game, we suddenly heard a strange noise coming from the basement.
You was at your friend's house and you start hearing stuff like this. What would you do? Leave a comment below. I mean, you at your buddy's house, you start hearing some groans and grunts and screams. You stick around? Would you? In my head here. Let's keep it rolling.
What was that? Austin asked, being confused. I don't know. My dad does some kind of experiments down there.
Experiments?
Probably a rat or something. Austin looked amused. No, dude, we can't go down there. My dad said so, I said quickly, bringing an end to Austin's excitement. It has no reason to doubt that Austin was disappointed. Then he asked for something to drink, so I went to the kitchen to get some juice for him. However, I was hit with a foul odor of something rotting as soon as I arrived in the kitchen. I looked around to see what could be the cause of the smell, and I found that the basement door was cracked open. I went to close it, but the curiosity got...
Now, yeah, this is not looking too good here. I mean, you walk in your house normally don't stink, and all of a sudden your house doesn't smell like something that crawled out in the yard and died and sat there for a couple of weeks. I wonder what's going to happen here.
Got the best of me.
Pop's been keeping
so I
mad
called Austin
secrets,
to
huh?
help me investigate. We darted down the stairs to the basement, clenching our noses at that horrible smell. It was dark until Austin found a light switch and quickly flicked it on. However, we had to regret our decision instantly after we saw the inside of the basement. There were people hanging from hooks, with random limbs missing. As we were standing in horror, Austin clenched my shirt strongly. I could see the piles of feces and human remains contained within certain sections of the room.
Oh my God, dude. If here's the crazy thing. I mean, talk about shock and awe. I mean, that shows that a lot of people got a lot of deep, dark secrets, and sometimes these deep, dark secrets always come to the top. But if you're a little kid and you're hanging out with your friend and at your own house and you don't know what's going on in your own house, and then you magically walk down in the basement that was left open, I don't know. I think that's a trap set by Pops myself. But hey, what do I know?
But the most disturbing and disgusting sight of all was the cage in the dark right corner of the room. The inside of it seemed to be a person sleeping at first, but as it looked up, I quickly realized that thing was not a person. What is that? Austin shouted, shaking in fear. I ignored his question. To be more specific, I couldn't answer. That
Could you?
Was indescribably frightening. It looked like a deformed human with its mouth filled with crooked and ragged teeth covering a majority of its face. Its face pointed outward with creases where the nose should be.
Wow.
The eyes were
I don't know if this is a
bulging out
good
of its head
description,
as
but
it
maybe
fixated its glance
Pops
toward
had some
Austin
type
and me.
of I think it was not a good description. I think Pops may have some type of homeless man down there trying to find alternate food alternatives, and he started feeding this person or thing with humans. In other words, he made himself his very own creature feature.
Food, it said to us slowly with excitement and a malicious voice. Then it started clawing at the iron bars of the cage with its needle-like hands. I sat there in horror until Austin grabbed my wrist. We ran up the stairs scrambling for the escape and shut the door. After I made sure it was perfectly locked, I saw Austin sitting on the carpet floor with his knees to his chest.
You don't know what to do after that, huh?
Silence. I then finally realized
Call the cops.
what
That's
really
what you do.
happened to
Give a
my
damn if
mom
it's your dad or
and
not.
those missing people in our town. At that instant, Austin muttered like this. Your dad, he was feeding those people to that thing. Now, what should I do now?
Wow. Wow. Oh my gosh. Well, that was a quick one. I was just strolling through and I came across it. I'm amazed. Good little story. True or not, I don't know. You know, like I said before, a lot of people are really good storytellers. But I mean, think about it. What would you do? You're hanging out at your friend's house and or on top of that, mom done magically disappeared. Oh, she ran away with another man. If you're 12 and 13 years old, you're thinking like, why? And I mean, y'all were arguing a lot, but not enough for her to run away. You know, as in the eyes of a 13-year-old boy or girl. But then you come across something like this in your house. Would you call the police, the authorities on your own family? You found something like this? I know I would. I don't give a. I mean, I love my family, but if I came across this, my dad or mom or uncle or cousin, best believe. I mean, there's no reason in the world, but that's a pretty cool little story. Is it scary? Disturbing, yes. Not scary, but very disturbing. But hey, guys, thank you for coming in for another story time, and hope you enjoyed this. Like I said, once again, this is from the description will be in below, but this is from Batman versus Everybody. And go check his page out. Got a few little films on there. I just scrolled through, and hopefully, you know, give my man a like and follow. And we'll hopefully see you back around and check it out again. And I'll be making more in the next coming days. I'm trying to find something very interesting. I got a comment earlier to check out this one movie, and I don't know, like I said, I'm trying to not get any copyright claims or anything like that, you know, trying to keep my slate clean. But anyway, y'all take care. Y'all be careful out there. Always keep your head on a swivel. I'll be doing a lot more, like I said, doing a lot more of these videos, from scary stories to interesting things to stuff that's interesting, and I just want to share it with you. Anyway, y'all take care. Y'all be good. Peace out.